Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Manager Rob Pelinka has had his contract renewed and he wants to make an impact next season and bring in another star so that the Lakers can return to being champions. The last title was in 2020. Giannis Antetokounmpo has already publicly praised LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and if Giannis Antetokounmpo is available, Rob Pelinka will not hesitate to get rid of the great player Austin Reaves. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo and Luka Doncic, together, will be an unstoppable duo. The Los Angeles Lakers are arguably the most storied team in the NBA. The consensus is that the Lakers have improved since the Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis trade, except now they have one major weakness. With Jackson Hayes as the only center in the rotation, JJ Redick's team is destined to struggle defensively. In fact, that's what most Lakers skeptics cite as the reason they won't win the NBA championship this season. Rumors: Lakers want to make a super team for next season. The European super team may not be as far-fetched as some presumed. The Los Angeles Lakers have been one of the great beneficiaries of the influx of European players. Pau Gasol is the shining example in that regard, as the Hall of Famer helped Kobe Bryant lead Los Angeles to back-to-back championships and 3 straight NBA Finals appearances. The Lakers kept that tradition alive when they acquired Luka Doncic ahead of the 2025 NBA trade deadline, and another door for a massive move could be opening just 2 months later. The 2025 NBA playoffs tipped off on Saturday, April 19 when the Milwaukee Bucks traveled to face the Indiana Pacers. Indiana took Game 1 in dominant fashion, defeating Milwaukee 117-98 in a game that saw 2 of the Bucks starters go scoreless. It was emblematic of the situation that Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has found himself in at 30 years of age. Antetokounmpo did what he could, posting 36 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 1 steal in 38 minutes during Game 1. Unfortunately, the absence of Damian Lillard and the putrid play from members of his supporting cast made victory an impossibility. With Milwaukee 1 game closer to its 3rd first-round exit since winning the championship in 2021, it's fair to believe Antetokounmpo could be just 3 games away from requesting a trade. If Bucks lose in first round, Lakers should make realistic run at Giannis. Antetokounmpo is already one of the greatest players in NBA history. His resume includes a championship, a Finals MVP award, 2 regular season MVP honors, a Defensive Player of the Year trophy, and 6 All-NBA first-team selections, with a 7th likely to arrive for 2024-25. Antetokounmpo will turn 31 during the 2025-26 regular season, however, which makes it fair to question how much longer he'll be willing to accept the Bucks' quality. Shams Charania of ESPN reported along those same lines, revealing that Antetokounmpo wants to remain in Milwaukee but will prioritize winning moving forward. It's an understandable objective, if true, as players tend to exit their athletic prime during their early to mid-30s. With Antetokounmpo, a player whose all-out effort and generational athleticism helped drive his success, approaching that age range, Milwaukee may not be the best place for him. The Bucks are just 3 games away from losing in the first round of the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive season. It also has polarizing fit Kyle Kuzma under contract for another 2 seasons and $42,775,757, which acts to limit its mobility in free agency. Compounded by questions surrounding how much longer 34-year-old point guard Damian Lillard will be able to play at an all-star level, the Bucks will need a massive offseason to retool in an adequate manner. If that doesn't transpire, then it stands to reason that Antetokounmpo could request a trade as he attempts to maximize what's left of his athletic prime. In that scenario, the appeal of teaming up with Luka Doncic and forming a European super team in Los Angeles would be tough to deny, and Austin Reaves could be quite an opening silo in trade discussions. The Lakers are by no means a lock to land Antetokounmpo, but the Bucks may be just 3 losses away from having to trade him. Lakers impressed by Luka Doncic's professionalism and approach. According to NBA insider Grant Afseth of Dallas Hoops Journal, the Los Angeles Lakers have been impressed by Luka Doncic's professionalism and approach. The Lakers acquired Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks, who were not pleased with Doncic's conditioning. Members of the Lakers, who now work with Doncic daily, have been impressed by his professionalism and approach, Afseth wrote. Sources say his work habits are consistent with what he did in Dallas. He continues to lean on his personal performance team on game days, practice days, and off days. Nothing is different except the jersey. The Lakers can offer Doncic a 4-year, $229 million contract in August. Doncic will make $46 million next season. He has a player option worth $48.9 million for the 2026-27 season. Doncic, who is owed $46 million next season and has a player option worth $48.9 million for 2026-27, will be eligible to sign a long-term contract extension with the Lakers this summer, Dave McMenamin of ESPN wrote. As of August 2, LA can offer Doncic up to a 4-year, $229 million contract, according to ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks. Doncic was eligible to sign a 5-year, $345 million extension with the Mavericks this offseason. However, Dallas general manager Nico Harrison no longer wanted to build around Doncic, so he traded the superstar to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and Max Christie. Yeah, there's no regrets on the trade, Harrison said during his closed-door press conference with Dallas reporters. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular, and that's my job, and I have to stand by it. And one last thing, also add, every trade I've done has been met with high scrutiny, and so eventually I'll earn the trust of this community that some of these trades are going to work out, and they have at a high level. One of the best players in the NBA, Doncic averaged 28.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 7.7 assists this season with the Mavericks and Lakers. He shot 45% from the field, 36.8% from beyond the arc and 78.2% from the free throw line. Jeanie Buss trusted Rob Pelinka with hiring of J.J. Redick. The biggest move the Los Angeles Lakers last offseason was the hiring of J.J. Redick as the team's new head coach. As is the case with any head coach hiring, owner Jeanie Buss had to sign off on it as well, but it was general manager Rob Pelinka who was leading the search. There was some concern with Redick as he had never been a head coach at any level, but the hiring has worked out great so far. Redick won 50 games in his first season with the Lakers, showing off his ability to game plan and adjust on the fly throughout the year. But in coming to the decision to hire him in the first place, it was a matter of Buss leaning on and believing in Pelinka. In an interview with SiriusXM NBA Radio, Buss said that she wanted Pelinka to find someone who truly aligned with his vision and trusted him when it was clear that Redick was that person. When the decision was made to part ways with Darvin Ham, I said to Rob, I want you to go and find a coach that really kind of meets how you look at the process and really complements your style. And think differently. You don't have to do the standard retread of a coach. Not that that's a problem, but I just wanted him to have the freedom to search out. And he, after doing his work, came back to me, and JJ was really resonating with him and their conversations. It was really just relying on Rob and believing in what Rob's vision was for this team and him doing the homework and him coming up with JJ as the right candidate. And what I did was talk to people about the things that I was concerned about, meaning a first-year coach. I don't want to keep having to change coaches if things don't work out. I want somebody for the long run, somebody that has a vision of the kind of team that he wants to run, and I just kept getting such good feedback about JJ. And so I was eager to meet him in person. I had never met him. But really my confidence was in Rob Pelinka and believing and knowing that he could lead this team and that he should have the opportunity to have a coach that really reflected his vision for what Laker basketball could be. Having synergy throughout the franchise is extremely important, and it is clear that Buss, Pelinka, and Redick are all on the same page. Buss has always had a ton of belief in Pelinka, hence why he was recently given a contract extension, and Redick looks primed to be the Lakers' head coach for a very long time. Buss is an owner who stays informed and always knows what is going on, but also trusts and empowers people to do their job. And if you have the right people in place, that leads to better results more often than not. Jeanie Buss has special plans to honor 2020 LA Lakers, but it depends on one major accomplishment. Jeanie Buss hasn't forgotten about honoring the champions of the 2019-20 Los Angeles Lakers. The 2019-20 NBA season will forever be remembered due to the COVID-19 pandemic as the world changed forever. As a result, the NBA had to get smart to complete the season, which they did by introducing the Orlando bubble. That's where the final few games of the regular season and the full 2020 playoffs were held. When it was all said and done, the Los Angeles Lakers walked away from the bubble after winning championship number 17 in franchise history. Jeanie Buss plans to honor the 2019-20 LA Lakers. The Purple and Gold started their 2025 NBA postseason campaign with a loss at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. While it's not a great start, the Laker Nation is still optimistic about their franchise potentially lifting the illustrious Larry O'Brien Trophy at the end of the playoffs. If this wish becomes true, it will be the Lakers' first NBA championship since 2020. Speaking of that year's team owner Jeanie Buss recently made a huge announcement about the championship roster. "You can't even think in your mind, we have got a first-round opponent, we've to get past the first round. We're not gonna take anything for granted," Buss said, via SiriusXM NBA radio. "But certainly, if we ever are so fortunate to win another championship, I'd try to do something to honor that 2020 team that we didn't get an opportunity to do that because we were under orders for no gatherings," she added. When the Lakers were crowned the champions of the NBA, the world was still recovering from the coronavirus pandemic. As a result, the 2020 Lakers never had a championship parade, but Buss has assured that to plan something for that roster sometime down the line. The Lakers' 2020 NBA championship was given an asterisk. Fans have always been divided over the format of the 2020 NBA postseason because of the absence of fans in the arena. After all, it eliminated the concept of home and away games due to all playoff teams being restricted to the same location. As a result, many believe that the Lakers' bubble ring doesn't hold as much importance as a normal title run. On the other hand, others believe the Orlando bubble brought out an exceptional level of basketball out of the players. Either way, LeBron James and the LA Lakers coming out on top brought extra scrutiny to the format. But whether you like it or not, that ring is as real as any other ring in NBA history.